Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Mallows. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Riots and protests across the country after that reaction and that verdict from the grand jury late last night. We're going to have some reaction for you here on Connect with Me, 436 MeTV option 11. In the second part of the program today, we're going to talk about toxic chemicals that you use in your own home. Stay tuned. A very hot and very busy program here on the showroom floor today.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Welcome back to the program here on the showroom floor. You're watching us live on Comcast channel 187 and 43.6, and now, of course, on 13.1. By the way, my friends, you can watch the replay anytime you want, but you can catch it today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 13.6, that's YouTube, and then 8 o'clock tonight, 13.5, that's Biz TV. And when I say you can watch us anytime you want, it's because a couple of days later, we're up on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel up there on Connect with Me, on MeTV Fresno, and Ventura Broadcasting Family, so you can watch any program dating back to 2012. That's more than 600 programs. Okay, riots and protests all over the nation last night, looting, rioting, shooting. Today, there are protests planned all over the world, including in England and Tokyo, and there is a protest planned tonight at 6 o'clock in downtown Fresno. Protests and the riots began after that grand jury came down and announced that decision last night about 6:30 our time, and the rioting began shortly after the president announced to the nation to stay calm, be nonviolent if you protest. It didn't work, though. Let's go to the videotape. I'll show you exactly what happened. This is Ferguson, Missouri. Shortly after midnight, the police had lost control of Ferguson. They began calling in the National Guard. Makes you wonder where the National Guard was to begin with. This is a Walgreens that was burned by protesters, and later in the evening, an AutoZone was set ablaze, along with a dollar store torched, and a pizza parlor torched, a storage unit torched. Protesters were also seen breaking storefront windows with baseball bats, including at a McDonald's. This as thousands and thousands ran through the streets, shooting into the air with guns as well. And so amateur photographers in Ferguson caught some video of the protest and the riots going on. Let's take a look and a listen to this piece of video that was shot in Ferguson last night.
Here we go. That's it. Get in. Stay right where we're at.
We got tear gas though, dude. Turn the air off.
Off?
Turn the air off. We're gonna be.
I don't know how.
Turn it off.
Shouldn't it be off? Is it off?
I think it's off.
Right now.
Well, as I was monitoring the internet last night and talking to my son, we were kind of looking around the internet and noticing that there were protests all over the country last night. some of these protests got out of control. I'm going to show you some of the major cities that were involved in this. Take a look now. We got some still photos to put up. Chicago, they had protests that looked like the streets of Ferguson. It was bitter cold. It didn't stop those who wanted to be heard. Hey, how about Ferguson itself? That's kind of what it looked like all night long in Ferguson, Missouri. Out here on the West Coast, Los Angeles, there were riots. Protesters surrounded the campus of USC. That means the university was on lockdown. Nobody came in, nobody came out. And closer to home here in Oakland, look at that. Fires, of course, erupting. A couple of photos there. They blocked Interstate 580 in Oakland for a while. Police had to come in and shoo the protesters away. But this took place all over the country. You had protests also in New York and Washington, D.C. as hundreds of people marched, tried to march on top of, or went down into the streets, of course, close to the White House. Anyway, we have a phone call here. Someone wants to call in and talk about Ferguson and some of the riots. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hi, John. I watched what happened in Ferguson most of the night and part of this morning, and it saddens me that so many people will be affected. Businesses are burned to the ground. A lot of jobs are going to be lost. It's a horrible thing, but I have something to say here. I can understand the frustration an African-American young man being killed by police, but hey, I'm a Hispanic woman, and as you and I know, there's been many Hispanic young men killed by police, but do you see us out there rioting and looting? We don't do that. We don't think that's the right thing. And like the reporter said last night, it's a sad thing because most of those businesses are mom-and-pop stores, and most of them are owned by African-American people.
Yeah, most of those businesses are minority owned, but we also have to look at the evidence. And the evidence that was looked at in this case supported the testimony given by Darren Wilson, the white police officer who shot Michael Brown. Do you know that, caller?
Yes, I know. I heard it. But like I said, it's sad anyway because now this town, like one lady was commenting last night, it's going to be a ghost town now. What are we going to do? We're going to have to go out of town to do our business.
Yeah, you had several buildings in Ferguson torched, as I said, protests all over the nation, including there were hundreds that were marching toward the White House. They blocked off the campus of USC. They had to have a lockdown there. In Oakland, 580 was blocked off by the protesters. It was all over the country, including in bitter cold Chicago. They were out protesting. Some weren't even wearing shirts. In the meantime, about 6:30 our time, finally, the St. Louis County prosecutor made the announcement that Darren Wilson, the white police officer, was not going to be indicted.
After their exhaustive review of the evidence, the grand jury deliberated over 2 days, making their final decision. They determined that no probable cause exists to file any charge against Officer Wilson and returned a no true bill on each of the 5 indictments. The physical and scientific evidence examined by the grand jury, combined with the witness statements supported and substantiated by that physical evidence, tells the accurate and tragic story of what happened.
And the St. Louis County prosecutor, of course, making the announcement last night. It was supposed to come in at about 1 o'clock our time. Another phone call here on Connect with Me. We'll go ahead and take that now. Unfortunately, we had to wait 5.5 hours later before the prosecutor came out and made that announcement. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is like a perfect eye-opener for America, the reverse of racism. We had a civil war where whites fought their own families to make blacks free. A black guy robs a store and walks down the middle of the street confronting a cop, gets shot, and they all going crazy over nothing. No matter what color you are, you can't rob a place, walk down the street, punk a cop, and think you're going to get away with it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your comment very much. A lot of people with differing views on this, depending on which side of the ledger you fall on. And anyway, last night, after the announcement made by the St. Louis County prosecutor, President Obama faced the nation in a late-night rare news conference at the White House, calling for peace and calm across the nation.
First and foremost, we are a nation built on the rule of law. And so we need to accept that this decision was the grand jury's to make. There are Americans who agree with it, and there are Americans who are deeply disappointed, even angry. It's an understandable reaction. But I join Michael's parents in asking anyone who protests this decision to do so peacefully. Let me repeat Michael's father's words. Hurting others or destroying property is not the answer. No matter what the grand jury decides, I do not want my son's death to be in vain.
That was the president in a rare late-night news conference at the White House last night. In case you missed it, last Sunday, it was just a couple of days ago on Meet the Press, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani faced off against a Georgetown professor talking about black-on-black crime. It was, boy, they whipped up the frenzy in terms of the race card. It went pretty high in terms of elevation. You'll listen to Rudy Giuliani get into it. He didn't get all that excited, although the Georgetown professor, it seemed like he wanted to jump out of his seat. Take a look at this.
But the fact is, I find it very disappointing that you're not discussing the fact that 93% of blacks in America are killed by other blacks. We're talking about the exception here.
Well, look, first of all,
go ahead, Michael. No, this is about a distrust issue.
We are talking about the significant exception. 93% of blacks are killed by other blacks.
Let me respond to that.
I would like to see the attention. I'd like to see the attention paid to that you are paying to this, and the solutions to that.
He's taking up time. Can I say this? First of all, most black people who commit crimes against other black people go to jail. Number two, they are not sworn by the police department as a agent of the state to uphold the law. So in both cases, that's a false equivalency that the mayor has drawn, which is exacerbated tensions that are deeply embedded in American culture. Black people who kill black people go to jail. Black people who kill black people go to jail. White people who are policemen who kill black people do not go to jail. If a jury can indict a ham sandwich, why is it taking so long?
Mr. Mayor, let me ask you, it's the trust issue, though. This is a trust issue.
It's hardly insignificant.
I didn't say it was insignificant. I said it was out of proportion in your false equivalency, sir.
It is the reason for the heavy police presence in the black community.
Not at all. Not at all.
93%.
The police presence cannot make a distinction between those who are criminals and those who call the police to stop the criminals.
What about the poor black child that is killed by another black child? Why aren't you protesting that?
Those people go to jail. I do protest it. I'm a minister. They go to jail. Why don't you talk about the way in which white policemen have undercut the ability of Americans to live?
So why don't you cut it down so many white police officers don't have to be in black areas?
They don't have to be. It's a matter of the effect of the state occupying those forces, sir.
How about 70 to 75% of the crime in my city?
How about your attitude reinforces the problematic perspective that prevails in the culture, sir?
This is a debate.
How about you reduce crime?
This is a debate.
When I become mayor, I'll do that.
Wait,
let's not make this. The white police officers won't be there if you weren't killing each other.
Look at this. Hang on. The defensive mechanism of white supremacy at work in your mind.
All right, Mike, I got it. I'm going to stop it there.
All right, Meet the Press on Sunday. Rudy Giuliani going face-to-face, head-to-head with that Georgetown professor on black crime. Caller, you there? Go ahead.
Yes. You know, I have regular free TV, and my friend that has cable or dish, he says that the news doesn't give you all the truth when you watch free TV. Now, I saw some videos where, you know, I saw some evidence, okay, videos, but I'm saying, you know, they should put, like, cameras in the back of the police car with sound, the ability to hear, so you can see towards the front where they said that this young man was trying to get the gun from the police officer inside the vehicle. Yep. Am I correct in hearing this? That I've heard that before? That's why the officer got the gun and then the guy took off running and then he shot him from a distance or something, in his back or something like that. So I'm not sure what news is the real truth, but they should put cameras in the back with sound facing the front so they can see if that was struggle took place, because this is what I heard. There was a struggle, and I'm not sure of it.
Well, all you have to do, caller, stay there, keep him on there. Are you there? No, I guess he hung up. Well, you got to look at the evidence. Go online and read the grand jury report, the testimony by the white officer, Darren Wilson. He gave his testimony to the grand jury. He described in detail, very gritty details about the incident, and at the very moment that he had to pull out his weapon and shoot Michael Brown. He didn't shoot him once. Michael Brown came at him, came toward the police car. He wouldn't let him out. Then he felt that threatened at that point. Wilson pulled out his revolver or his gun and shot him. And that's when Michael Brown was hit in the hand and he started running away. Darren Wilson got out of the car. Then it seemed like, according to Wilson, now this is all according to Darren Wilson, Michael Brown turned around and started charging the officer, and he was 8 to 10 feet away. The officer told him to stop. He didn't. He shot several times. He still came at him. He shot again, and that's when he, obviously, the 19-year-old teenager, Michael Brown, died at the scene. Another caller calling in today on Connect With Me. Good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious, how does race allow someone to do a crime or anything? You know, this whole thing, we just had this Mexican kid that was shot 16 times by our Fresno Police Department. If you're white or Hispanic, nobody gives a damn. But if you're black and you commit a crime and get shot, the whole world goes crazy.
Okay, let me ask you something. Caller, you stay there. Are you there?
Yeah.
What's race got to do with anything? If somebody robs a convenience store and then they attack a police officer, if he's white, black, green, purple, yellow, pink, what difference does it make? What do you do?
That's my point.
Okay.
You shoot them.
All right.
They're the people that are controlling law and order, and they're the persons that are supposed to uphold law and order. How are you going to sit there and think you're going to confront that in the entire system? That's like taking on America by yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate the phone call very much. Anyway, go online, read the testimony by Darren Wilson. He is the officer who shot Michael Brown. The gritty details are there online. That's the picture of Darren Wilson shortly after he shot Michael Brown. That picture taken in the hospital in Ferguson or St. Louis, Missouri. You can see, you know, just a minor bruising there on the face. So he did take some punches. And I guess at that point, according to Wilson, he feared for his life. That's when an officer, in fact, does pull his weapon out and use it to defend himself and defend his own life. Another call here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
When I was watching the news, to me, all you had to do was watch the robbery, and the big boy was bullying the little proprietor there. When I saw, I said, well, there's no way that bully is going to give in to any policeman. Then when I saw the policeman, he looked kind of small to me, and I said, the only way he was holding his hands up is he's going for his throat, maybe.
Right.
Some of my favorite books is like The Mind Hunter with John Douglas. I love profiling. I'd like to see somebody profile that kid and see what they come up with. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the call. We're going to take a break here and come back and change topics. Ferguson, it was a very, it was a night of unrest there and around the nation. They had protests in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Oakland. They shut down 580 in Oakland. They marched toward the White House in Washington, D.C., and also the protesters tried to shut down I-5 up in Seattle. In Sacramento, there was a minor protest, but today protests are planned all over the globe, including in Tokyo, including in England, including here in Fresno tonight at 6 o'clock. Another caller, we'll take this call and then go to break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, quickly. Caller, you there?
I believe that if they need to call out the National Guard, they should, and they should stop the unrest there. I mean, all this, you know, trouble that's being caused by their anger is not going to solve anything.
Okay. Well, it makes one wonder why the announcement was made at 6 o'clock at night our time, which is 8:30 Ferguson time. Well, at 6:30 our time, roughly speaking, is when the announcement came down. And then it was 8:30 in Ferguson. So at that point, if they weren't going to release it at around 3 o'clock Ferguson time, why didn't they wait until the next morning? Why did they release it at 8:30 at night, knowing that there could possibly be some unrest, some rioting, some shooting, overturned cars, fires, violence all over the place in Ferguson and across other cities, across the nation in other cities? Why didn't they withhold that decision or the announcement until sometime today during daylight hours? And where was the National Guard to begin with? Okay, caller, you're on the air. Well, you were on the air. Well, hey, it's time to take a break here. We'll keep you posted on all this. We've kind of run down what happened overnight across the nation, including in Ferguson. Remember, a protest tonight scheduled for downtown Fresno. It all gets underway at 6 o'clock. We're back with our program. We'll change topics here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Back in a moment.
Almost time. Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent and Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman
fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the MeTV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me, we're going to kind of change topics now and not take any further calls regarding Ferguson, Missouri. Maybe at some point, maybe tomorrow, we'll kind of revisit that issue and see what happens tonight here in the city of Fresno at 6 o'clock during that protest. But it is time to change topics, and you know, our planned guest today is here in the studio. She's been waiting very patiently, a very nice woman. We're going to talk about toxic chemicals in your home, because this program was kind of pre-planned and we didn't know what was going to happen with Ferguson. We didn't know when that decision was going to be announced. Unfortunately, it was announced late last night. So we move on with a different topic here on Connect with Me. Anyways, these are some average, everyday household products, like right here, like right there. You might use that to clean your toilet. You might use that, you might throw that in during you know, for your, with a load of wash. This, you might clean your countertops with. This, you might clean your coffee table with. There are all sorts of products here. Now, our guest today claims that many of these products that you're using in your own home are bad for your health. They are very toxic. They can do some damage. Some may even cause cancer. Not sure about that. She has some alternative products that she wants to talk about that you can use in your home to try to protect yourself and try to protect your family. But some of these products, and I have some questions about these because my parents use these. Many of us have been using these products for years and years and years to clean the floors, to clean the furniture, to clean the bathroom, to clean the ceilings, to clean whatever, even to go out in the garage and clean whatever needs to be cleaned out there. And some of those products we even use on our own cars, right? All right, live in our studio right now is Penny Campriello. She is here to take your phone calls, and there she is sitting right there, waiting very patiently. And 436-MeTV, option 11 is the telephone number here. You can call in, ask your questions about some of these products and why they are so dangerous to you and to your family. I'm going to hold that basket up right here so you can see a basket full of cleaners right there. See, you can't even see me now. There are so many cleaners here, but she says, Penny says, that they are dangerous. You can call in, ask your question. Back with our program here as we continue on MeTV Fresno.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. MeTV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno, Penny Campriello is here with some of these products. So Penny, what's so dangerous about these products?
Well, John, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I hope that something that I can say today is going to help somebody else out there too.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being patient, considering what happened last night.
Right, to work their way through what is all of these products. Number one, the majority of the products have chemicals in them where there is no labeling on the products as to the ingredients that are actually in them.
What do you mean no labeling? There was no label for the ingredients for the product, like say a Lysol or a Downy or a Windex? There's no ingredients?
No, there's no mandatory labeling for household cleaning products. So they don't actually have to tell you the chemicals that are in the products that are on the shelves. The only labeling that you're going to see on the products is it's going to be cautionary. So it's going to tell you what to do, what's hazardous if it spills on you, that kind of thing.
I'm going to take a call here real quick. Caller, you're on the air with Penny Campriello. What's your question, please?
Yes. Every chemical that I've bought, any bottle has labeling. I don't know what she's talking about, but the thing is that a lot of these chemicals are not only used inside the house, but a person that uses them should read the label completely, because, you know, mixing two different things can cause a reaction. But, you know, some of these are also used outside, like washing your car. And, you know what, I was going to talk about that guy that made that green stuff you spray on the lawn, sponsored your program last week. When I first saw his thing about before the program, him spraying it on the grass, and I thought, well, wait a minute, does that all go inert? But also the fact that, you know, because it'll rain on it and go into the ground and pollute the groundwater. But also with one chemical and another chemical, you have a different reaction. So some of these chemicals that are used on the lawn to wash your car, I'm thinking with that paint that he puts on the ground that makes it look like grass, could that have a reaction just like putting ammonia and bleach together?
No,
that's
but
my
see,
question
let me
about spray on the outdoors and these chemicals too.
Okay.
Plus, they all have labels. I've never seen one. I've never bought something in a store that doesn't have a label.
Okay.
So I don't know what you're talking about, the label.
Okay, caller, thank you very much. I do want to clarify about Turf Medics, because we had the people on here from the that represent that product, and basically we were told that that thing is toxic free. It will not harm you. It's a special ingredient that's non-toxic. They spray it on your lawn and it goes in. They sponsor our program here on Fridays here on Connect with Me. So that product apparently is toxic free, and we'll invite him back to talk exactly about that very issue. Toxicity. When it rains, it sinks into the ground, so you don't want those toxic chemicals getting in there. So what about the ingredients? I think most of these products have the ingredients on them, don't they, Penny?
Actually, if you look on the labels, they do not list out the actual ingredients and the chemicals that are in the products.
Okay.
You can often go to the website for the company that makes the product, and they will then have a list of the chemicals on the website.
Okay.
But it doesn't actually tell you the problems that those particular chemicals can
Caller,
cause.
go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you, John. Hey, I just wanted to say that, you know, anything that we use in our houses that goes through the gray water should still grow plants. All right, so like when you take a shower, the soap you use, if it goes out in the gray water, it should still grow a plant and not kill it. And so that is kind of like my rule of thumb when it comes to using, you know, what I buy in my house. And so I was just setting Penny up because I care about what she's saying. Thank you, Prince.
You got it. Thanks for the call. I'm holding a product here in my hand that you put into the washer to try to soften the clothes, like a blanket or a pair of pants or something like that. And it says, you know, it talks about, you know, machine washing, hand washing, but there is no ingredients here on this product.
Right.
I mean, that's the product right there. I'm holding that bottle up.
Right.
Now, whether or not this is toxic or not, I have no idea.
Right.
I have no chemical evidence to prove that it's toxic one way or the other if it's not.
Right.
So how do we know?
You know what, John? I was introduced to a website about a year ago, which has become really handy for me, and it's called the Environmental Working Group, and it's ewg.org. And on there, they have a guide to healthy cleaning products where you can actually go on there, and it rates all of your cleaning products, including all the chemicals in them, and it tells you the adverse effects of those chemicals that have on your body.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning. I recall back in the 60s when I was just a young man, I was paying 25 cents a pack for cigarettes, and now they're $5 a pack. I no longer smoke because they cause cancer is what they deemed. So we're in a cancer scare. So all these different products can or will cause cancer. Is this not a little bit of overreacting, or should we put a sin tax on them and make money off this deal?
Hey, that's a great call. Hey, so caller, let me ask you something. You still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I want to ask you, do you use some of these products in your own house?
I use them all. I recognize them when I see them on the screen.
Yes, I hope we don't get sued here at Connect With Me, but we're, you know, I mean, look, I have a caller, thank you, that's a great call. We got to go to break, but I have no physical evidence, no scientific evidence as to whether or not these products cause cancer or whether or not they're toxic or not. But you're here to tell us that some of these products are.
Right.
Okay. Penny Campriello is here, 436-MeTV option 11. Hey, it's been a busy day talking about Ferguson, talking about toxic chemicals. What else are we going to talk about that harms us? I don't know. We're back with our program in just a moment.
This fall, there is a place, familiar and inviting, timeless and warm. MeTV, a place all your own that you can call home.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
This fall, home is where you'll find me.
You mean to tell me that's all there is to it?
That's all.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
We're back here on the program today and trying to, you know, we got a phone call here, but we're trying to take a little breather too. So Penny Campriello is here talking about toxic chemicals and some of these products that you use in your own home. We're going to put some stuff up on the screen. You can view them for yourself. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, the chemicals in like Downy fabric softeners, I saw on a 2020 program some years ago that they're cancerous, so that I don't use any softeners when I wash my clothes. Like you said, there's no chemicals labeled on them, but there are directions on how to use them, and if anything that is like what changes a compound that will affect your lungs, your breathing, that should be labeled. Like on Clorox, it should say don't mix with ammonia, and ammonia, it should say don't mix with bleach because this way it can cause a dangerous gas. And these things should be put on there for the consumer. But, you know, to lay out all the chemicals would probably need a whole big label. Because there's probably a lot of chemicals in them, just like in ice cream. They use chemicals, those same chemicals they use right there, some of them go into ice cream.
Yeah.
That's why I don't eat ice cream either.
Okay. Hey, listen, caller, I hope you're still listening because I have a funny story to tell you. I moved to Washington, D.C. in 1990, and I lived there for about a year, year and a half. But I moved into this apartment complex, and it wasn't, the bathroom was just not clean. So I drove to the supermarket, bought some ammonia, or it might have been bleach, and I sprayed it on in the bathtub, in the sink, and the bathroom was cleaning everything. It's trying to disinfect everything. The smell and the toxins became so intense because it was an enclosed area, no windows.
Right.
I had to vacate the apartment for that night. I couldn't stay there for like 2 days. I had to room with a buddy of mine, a coworker of mine, but I'll never forget that. It just overwhelmed me. I opened up all the windows, asked a friend to come over and pick me up because I couldn't stay there. So, you know, it can happen. It can't. Some of these smells and these toxins can overwhelm you. Okay, what about some of the I do see on this cleaner right here that it does have the ingredients, but look up on the screen there. Okay, you're talking about toxic ratings, floor cleaners, all-purpose cleaners, bathroom cleaners, laundry detergent, dishwashing soap. They all get no higher than a C rating. You got to be kidding.
Right. If you look on the Environmental Working Group website, they actually rate all of the products. There's thousands and thousands of products that we use every day in our homes. And they actually rate them based on the effects on your respiratory system, allergic reactions, whether they are toxic to you for developmental or reprotoxicity, cancer, and rating for the environment. They look at all the individual chemicals that are in the products, and then they give the product an overall rating, and that's what those ratings are.
Wow. Okay. Caller, what's your question, please?
Hi, John. Good show today. Real quick, so my question would be, can your guest talk about, I know you're talking about cleaners, but I have a problem in my house where we had in the shower where we get a lot of hair that'll clog it up, and so we use, you know, I'm not going to give the names of the other products, but we use a lot of clog removal products. That's one. And then also, by the way, earlier you had a caller that called in about Turf Medics. I just checked their website out, and it's 100%. I thought they had said on the show that it was organic, and it says on their website it's 100% biodegradable, made from natural products. So.
See? So that answers the caller's question. So no toxicity in the product that's used in Turf Medics, our sponsor here on Friday. So you can go ahead.
And if you go on, you go on their website, you'll see they have a study from I think it's UC Davis that shows all the how well it works. So
yeah.
Anyhow, thank you. I'll take my answer off the air.
Okay. So hey, my drain gets clogged up. What am I supposed to use? A snake every time to get everything out of there? I mean, I'll use whatever I need to use. To unclog that drain.
Right, absolutely. And they do recommend actually that you use a snake, baking soda, vinegar. Those are all good things for
white vinegar.
Distilled white vinegar. Yeah. Those are all good things for unclogging.
Along with baking soda.
Yes.
Just mix the two together and put it down the sink.
Those are natural remedies, but using the snake in addition is a good thing for cleaning out the drain.
Yeah. You like all these calls, Penny?
I love all these calls.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You're very popular today, by the way. Thanks for being patient. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. There seems to be a lot of other issues besides, the toxicity. For instance, the colors of the detergents or liquids that sort of spurs the kids to try them out. Children, where you store them, that type of thing. Maybe she could say a few words on that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Penny, go ahead.
Yeah, approximately 35% of products, especially your consumer products like your shampoos and things like that, that say that they are safe for children actually contain toxic chemicals. And I just want to say something
You mean like baby shampoo?
Correct.
Really?
Yes, they do. There's actually a lot of shampoos use the chemical formaldehyde as a preservative, and they'll use either formaldehyde or what they call formaldehyde releases, which keep the product, help to preserve the product over a long period of time by slowly releasing the formaldehyde into the product.
There's your personal care products. Look out for BHA and BHT. Now, what is that?
That's a really good question, John.
You have no idea, because I don't.
They are used as preservatives in products.
Right, I know formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde
fragrance,
is fragrance. Those are often phthalates are labeled on products, and those are fragrances. Fragrances are all chemical based, or the majority of them are all chemical based.
Yeah. All right, caller, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm loving your show, though. I just want you to know that.
Oh,
the thing is that what I heard the other caller call in about the Turf Medics. I'm the one that called in before and mentioned that if they did tests on the Turf Medics, that when they spray it and water is sprayed on it and air is combined with water, that it becomes inert to the ground. In other words, it does not harm at all. It just goes dead. Whereas I was stating that if you mix other chemicals, the compound change of the molecular structure of the chemical would create something with the Turf Medic.
Well, that
once it goes into the ground.
Here's the thing. Stay on there, caller.
That's my question. Have they ever done any long-term testing to that effect?
Keep the caller on there. Don't hang up yet. Caller, the Turf Medics was tested by chemists and those people who are in the industry at UC Davis before this product was even released to the public to make sure that there are no toxins, no dangerous chemicals that you're putting in on your lawn, because they know that your children run around on the lawn all the time, all day long, and so they know that once it rains, it mixes into the ground, it goes into the groundwater. They did not produce a product that is toxic in terms of chemicals, because this was all tested for months and months and months up in UC Davis. So we know the product is safe.
Did they combine it with other chemicals?
Like what other chemicals are you talking about?
Like, okay, household chemicals that they got there that people put their cars on the lawn, wash, they spray polish on their tires, stuff like that. Oil mixing with it. Stuff that leaks from the car once it's washed into the ground too.
Okay.
With
you bring up.
I mean, have they done long-term testing like that? I know that, like with chemicals. I mean, we look at medicines. Just take medicine for. They say that they did tests on medicines and all this and that, but people come up ill and sick. I mean, I'm talking about this long-term testing.
That
so
I don't.
Test, like a lot of other chemicals.
Okay, caller, you bring up some great points, questions that I can't answer. I mean, I don't know if you mix it in with car oil or, say, Windex or some other chemical like 409 or whatever you're spraying on your lawn. I don't know. If you're spraying weed killer on your lawn and it mixes in with the Turf Medics, I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a chemist. I don't know what the reaction is going to be, if there's going to be a negative reaction, if it's going to become toxic and harmful to your family. All I know is that Turf Medics was tested up at UC Davis by some of the chemists up there, and they deemed it to be safe in terms of toxicity. Now, as far as parking your car on the lawn, maybe you shouldn't park your car on the lawn. Maybe you ought to park it in the driveway or on the street or in the garage. I don't know. I'm just, suggesting. These are all suggestions coming from your trustworthy host. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Are these products dangerous? Do you use them in your home? Are you using them on a regular basis? Have you used them for years? Call back, 436-ME-TV at option 11. We're back with our program in just a moment.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the program with your trustworthy host. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Well, you were on the air. Let's put up the full screen. You can call back at 436-ME-TV option 11. All-purpose cleaners. Okay, what is this right here? It's a bleaching agent?
Yeah.
On the screen. See that?
Yeah, the sodium hypochlorite you would find in one of your all-purpose cleaners, and it's actually in a lot of the all-purpose cleaners. When I checked on the Environmental Working Group website, that was actually one of the highest rated chemicals. It is known to cause respiratory effects.
Wow.
And it is dangerous when it's mixed with other compounds.
Burns, like burning of the lungs?
Yes, it's corrosive. It can burn your skin.
What about
it's dangerous
Simple Green
when it's
here?
Inhaled, and that's what you were talking about when you were using it in your bathroom.
Yeah, so that's the danger that loomed in that bathroom, is those toxic chemicals were going to burn my lungs.
Correct.
Okay, Simple Green is what, as we take the call here?
When you look on the Environmental Working Group website, they actually have a list of the Toxic Hall of Shame, and they they rated Simple Green badly because they list it as being non-toxic and biodegradable, but it does actually contain a chemical which is toxic.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, in defense to the guy earlier that keeps calling in, he doesn't have a clue. If you don't have a clue, just don't make a comment. The Turf Medic stuff is basically glucose, which is sugar and food coloring. So just don't park your car and put oil everywhere, and you probably won't have a problem to start with.
Yeah. Now,
Turf Medics is an awesome design. It's an awesome company.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're our sponsor here, because, you know,
I
we're...
understand. The guy doesn't have a clue what he's talking about as far as some chemical reaction or something. It's equivalent to what you put in your cereal or coffee. It's sugar.
Right. Well, this product, Turf Medics, was tested up at UC Davis for months on end by chemists. So
It doesn't need all that. It's sugar. You don't have any bombs going off because you have sugar on your front lawn.
No, I
That
understand.
doesn't make sense.
I understand what you're saying, but I just want to reinforce the fact that this product was tested at UC Davis, and it kind of gives the product credibility to stand on its own. Caller, thanks very much.
I'm a chemist myself, so
what's
just
that?
to let you know, I'm a chemist myself, so this doesn't. The guy's comments are ridiculous.
Okay, well, thank
You have an awesome product and an awesome advertising.
You got it. Thank you very much, and we appreciate Turf Medics being our sponsor here on the show every Friday, of course. So, Penny, let's put some more information up on the screen for our viewers and talk about some of these products. Now, what is this here? Dangerous chemicals.
Yeah. You know what, John? I'm not a chemist.
Neither am I.
Number one.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that these chemicals are present in many of our cleaning products, and research and studies have shown that they are they can cause adverse effects to us.
Okay.
What we really need to remember is that the chemicals are actually in many of the products that we're using. There may have been studies done on one particular chemical, and there's so many chemicals that are allowed in our products in parts per billion, but then we have a whole mixture of chemicals, and nobody actually has ever done any studies on how, when all those products are combined, the effects that it has on the body.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I had a question about the difference between toxic-free products and non-toxic products.
Good question.
Yeah, thank you. There is actually some products are labeled non-toxic, and I would always try and investigate those further. There's what they call the LD50 rule, which is the lethal dose 50. When they're actually testing products for safety, they test them a lot of the times on live subjects, well, namely rats. And if less than 50% of the subjects or less than 50% of the rats die, then the manufacturer can actually say that that product is non-toxic.
Okay, I should mention that you're a registered nurse, you're a toxic-free coach. Do you work for any company that provides alternative solutions to using these products?
Yeah, I became a toxic-free coach through the Healthy Home Company, which is a company that provides toxic-free products.
And those are some of the products right there that you are promoting, such as, what are some of those products there that we're looking at? Shampoos?
We have a full range of personal care products.
Is that what we're looking at here?
Home cleaning products, vitamins. Yes, correct.
Okay, and these are all
sanitizer
toxic-free.
spray. They're all
How can
100% toxic-free.
Okay, how can you guarantee us that those are toxic-free? Have they been tested by chemists?
They have been rigorously tested. They've been through all of the agencies. They have to have the toxic-free seal. It's a very, very difficult certification to get.
So you mean to tell me that shampoos, like I have body wash right here in front of me that I bought, okay? It's body wash. It's a shampoo. Let me see if the ingredients is on here. Yeah, they list the ingredients. So you mean to tell me that shampoos or any kind of product that I buy at Costco, at CVS Pharmacy, at Walmart, at Target are bad for me? They're all bad?
No, they're not all bad. There are some good products on the market. What you have to remember, John, is that any product that you put on your body that has chemicals in it, those chemicals are absorbed through your skin within 26 seconds of you putting it on your body. The average person is exposed to about 200 chemicals before they even leave the house in the morning, and that's from the personal care products that we're using, maybe the cleaning products that you're using. So before you even leave the house,
Did you bring some of those products with you that are toxic-free? Do you have some of those?
I do have some.
You do have some? We're going to take a break, Penny, not now. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and show some of those products on the air. 436-MeTV, option 11 is your telephone number. And the other question I have is, can your body simply become immune to some of these products? And I don't know the answer to that, but 436-MeTV, option 11, back in just a moment.
A top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly. And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Okay, on the program today, it's a very busy day here on Connect with Me, talking about Ferguson, the first 20 or 25 minutes of the show, and now Penny Campriello is here. She's a toxic-free coach, and she's talking about these toxic products that are in your home, your bathroom, whatever you use throughout the house, and they're bad for your family. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask a real question to your guest. When I'm cleaning the restroom, like you did, or the stove, I always use gloves, rubber gloves, will not burn me, whatever, you know. And then I wear a mask and goggles, like a small glasses, but they're goggles. That'll keep me from any splash of bleach and all that. So she's talking, and she knows that I'm right. But 99% of them don't do that, you know, unless they're professionals, you know. They'll cover themselves with gloves and a mask. That'll take away all that.
Here's the question. Yeah, but wait a second, caller. Let me interrupt a second. If you have to put on a hazmat suit to use these products on your countertops, why use them in the first place?
Caller, are you talking about the product?
Yeah. Why are you using it in the first place? It sounds to me like you have to put on a hazmat suit in your own home just to use some of these products.
Yeah, but
why
almost
use them
100%
then?
of the products you use, women, mostly women that do it. I mean, I do it all the time to help the wife, but I do it all the time because I know that the bleaches and all that can burn your skin. Number one. Okay, so if you wear rubber gloves and the mask will keep all that smell where you got sick yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it takes time in there, but bleach also splashes into your eyes. So any kind of protection. So I just thought I'd throw that at you.
Okay, I appreciate the phone call very much. Some good advice, and it's good advice to use rubber gloves if in fact you are using any of these products. Maybe even something to protect your eyes because you don't know.
Right. I think the other thing that you need to take into consideration is when you're using these products is that you're using them on surfaces that you're then going to put your hands on. So you might be a big lover of a bleach wipe for wiping down your counters.
How do we know that these products are toxic? How do we know? I mean, we're on here, we're actually accusing some of these products and these companies of being toxic. Do we have any proof?
Yes. If you look on the Environmental Working Group website, they have done studies and research on all of the products that are used in your home.
So this is all according to the Environmental Working Group website.
That's just
That's
just one of the websites that is out there on the internet right now. I actually like the Environmental Working Group because I feel that they're more stringent even than some of the other website information that's out there.
And where are they getting their information? Do they have chemists that have tested these products?
Yes, and they follow research studies.
All right. While we're taking this call here, why don't you reach down and grab some of the products that you suggest to use as an alternative in your home. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead and get some of those products there, Penny.
Yes, I was hoping that you could put her website that she's talking about, the environment group, on the screen so I can write it down. And also, like that caller that called in and said that he puts a mask over his face and wears goggles. That's a good thing because a lot of these chemicals, if you read them, it'll say do not let it touch the skin, and because your skin, it could soak into your pores. The hotter, like say if you're using hot water, it opens up your pores and it could soak into your to your body, which can affect people that are more sensitive. Even I wear a mask when I vacuum because I breathe in whatever I'm blowing up from the floor, or when I do the cleaning of the bathroom also, because bleach and chemicals, I'm very sensitive in my lungs, and I can't breathe it and take it very long.
Okay.
And, it's a good idea because if you get some of that splash in your face or in your eyes, I mean, that could burn your eyes. I mean, you can go blind if you don't wear safety goggles.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, we're running out of time here, so we need to. Okay, first of all, before we do that, what's the website again? Give me the address.
It's www.
Uh-huh.
EWG.
No, www.
EWG.org.
Okay, and you can go on that website. So it's
you can go on their website.
It's ewg.org. That's the website. You can go and research some of the toxicity in some of these household products that you might be using right now. We're running out of time. Let's put up, Lauren, some of the alternative products up on the screen that we are suggesting here. If you want to use some of those, we got pictures of some of those products. And caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Caller?
The only chemical that I can't quite stand is bleach.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives out a horrible odor. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Smells like, I don't know what it smells, ammonia, I don't know, but that sounds powerful.
Yeah, it's it can.
That's the only thing I got to say today.
All
Okay,
right.
have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's what got me in trouble in D.C. moving into that apartment. It was either the bleach or the ammonia that just overwhelmed me. Pass some of those products this way so we can see them. Penny, go ahead. Keep. Whoops. Okay.
Sorry.
Got to be careful there. Don't hit the microphone. Just pass them all over. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on over. Don't be bashful. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to hold this up one at a time, and you're going to explain what this is. Okay. What is that?
That is a 100% toxic-free cleaning product, which is also used for the dishwasher. You can use it in your laundry. And then diluted down, it can be used as a floor cleaner. It can be used as a hard surface cleaner, cleaning around the bathroom, wherever it is that you need to be cleaning.
Okay. And then what about this product here?
That one is for your more heavy-duty jobs. That would be like your bleach alternative, but it's a safe bleach alternative.
To clean your toilet?
You clean your toilet, clean your oven, clean your grill, those kinds of things.
Okay. This one here?
That one is just this diluted down. It's diluted down. You just
when
put
you
it.
say this, what is this product?
It's the clean.
Okay.
The clean product, you dilute it down, and you can use that to spray around. So concentrated,
what do you use
use
this for?
it in the dishwasher.
Oh.
Anything that you want to clean, your granite surfaces, your floor cleaner, anything.
All right. How about this one here?
That one is a hand wash. People don't realize that a lot of the antibacterial hand soaps have a chemical called triclosan in them, which is an endocrine disruptor, which actually can affect the reproductive system.
All right. And how about this one here?
That is a 100% toxic-free hand sanitizer, so that would replace like your hand sanitizers that you use.
Where do you buy some of these products? I know you're touting these products and you're selling them, but how and where can you go and buy some alternative products if they don't? If many of our viewers may choose not to buy your products. There are other products out there that are natural.
And you know what, John, at the Healthy Home Company, even though we have 100% toxic-free products, we actually promote people to look for products that are healthier than the ones that they're using.
These are some of the alternative products that we've been talking about here on the program. And where can you purchase some of these products? Quickly, we got like 30 seconds.
A lot of the products are available in the store. But what I would recommend is that...
What store? Where? Located where?
Any of the local stores, any of your local supermarkets.
Oh, you can buy some of these at any of the local stores?
Yes. A lot of them you're going to find mostly in your more whole food type stores. But you should always check your products on the Environmental Working Group site, because even though it might say natural or green, it doesn't mean that it's natural or green. Always check your products first.
Okay, and that website again is www.ewg.org. You can go on there and look at some of those alternative products that we've been talking about. And I think that's going to do it for today. We're almost out of time here. Got just about, 10, 15 seconds here left in the program.
If anybody wants to contact me, can they email me?
Yes, go ahead. Quickly, your email.
You can email me at buytoxicfree@gmail.com. buytoxicfree@gmail.com.
And your phone number, if you want to give that out really quick.
Is 559 888-269-6793, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Penny Campriello, thank you so much.
Thanks, John, for having me on your show.
All right, gotta go. We're going to be back tomorrow with a special program on Thanksgiving. The Paparillo House people are going to be here talking about what's going on Thanksgiving at their place, at the Pav House. We're going to see you tomorrow. Have a great day. And